Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Montclair State University is affordable. Montclair State University is inclusive. Montclair State University is practical with career-building programs. Montclair State University is personal with one-on-one support for every step of your educational journey. And Montclair State University is here for you. Elevate your future. Learn more at montclair.edu.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there, and the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Oh, I was supposed to play it?
I'm not hearing anything.
I didn't start it. Oh, so I have to play the song and then you're going to... Okay.
Yes, I'm doing the intro.
Oh, all right.
I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at
I
me
thought I was
for?
waiting. I thought I was like you were going to talk and then I had to like hit it. Okay, gotcha.
Welcome to Pillow Chat. I'm your host, Alan Fatman. You're listening to the smooth sounds of Kool and the Gang, Summer Madness, on this hot summer night. So sit back with a cold drink and a hot woman, and let the music take you away.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm Earl.
I'm Jess.
Jess is like, I don't get any of that. Anybody from the Detroit area knows exactly all the references that was made in that.
Ain't anybody black. Just and if you ever noticed in anything, the Quiet Storm related. It used to be a Detroit area thing, but now it's an R&B radio thing.
Yeah, true. So anyways, if you can't tell, listeners, we've... two of the hosts have combined forces, and we are sitting in the studio for the first time in fucking 6 years. I think I figured it out the other day. 6 years.
I went from in the last 2 weeks, I've went from doing podcasts by myself to every time I do a podcast now, there's a human.
I know, podcasting with pants on would have paid.
Right.
So, anyways, what subjects we have lined up this week? Oh, by the way, also full disclosure, I moved, so I have no idea what the fuck's going on. So everybody else is going to carry the show this week. Somebody take it away.
It's just been hot. No matter where you've lived this week, it's been hot. Like, isn't there some kind of heat dome or something going on?
Yes, we've been over 100 degrees here. I think our heat index has been like 107, 108. No rain.
I got in a car the other day. It's at 102. Like, I don't know. This just reminds me of being out west. No clouds, just the sun beating on you.
Yeah, but we get the added benefit of all the humidity of living in Michigan on top of it. If you're in Phoenix, I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Ask the German Jews about a dry heat, but I'm just saying, it's not as bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this week it hasn't been the humid heat. It's just been just hot, and that just reminds me out west.
No, it was hot. It was hot in Highland last week before I moved. I was peeling my balls off the side of my legs pretty regularly there. So that just might have been the area. Anyways,
my AC has not turned off.
You guys, on this show, you guys of all people know that climate change is bullshit. Stop it.
Climate change is bullshit. Okay, cool, great, wonderful. Well, anyways.
No, I definitely feel the air conditioning comment. It has been a nonstop go. I came home one day and my air conditioner was already like 4 degrees above where I had it set. And I was like, oh, absolutely fucking not. I can't live like this. So I went through and like closed all my blinds, and now I live like a gremlin walking through the house, closing all the doors, turning off all the lights, no nothing.
I mean, last
I
night
won't cook
after the
inside.
sun went down, it was 80. I was like, oh hell no! I went and cranked that bitch down like 5 degrees. I don't care that it's not turned. I paid for a new motor like 2 summers ago. Keep going.
I'm actually jealous. Can your guys' air conditioners keep up with the heat? Because mine can't.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I had to turn it down. Like yeah.
It was 80 in your house?
Yeah, with my air on. Well, I usually keep it at like 75, but no, not the last couple of days. I cranked that down to 70.
And I didn't even notice it was 80 in the house. It was hot in my room, but my room is like faces the west.
Oh, this whole house faces the west. The hottest time of day is sunset.
Yeah, and so it's just like the sun is beating down on the side of the house where my room's at. So that's what I just thought that was. But okay.
No, what I'm saying is, like, we turn the air down, but it will never reach what we've turned it down to.
It sounds like you got an old air. Is it central air? Is it window unit?
Yeah, it's central.
But where he lives, it's stupid hot all the time because there's nothing there's no barriers for heat. There's nothing but flat land.
I don't know, dude. All I know is that when I lived in Florida, the only houses I were in that didn't have air conditioning were old ass houses or houses near the fucking beach. So that's it is 2022. Put a fucking window unit in, something.
Yeah.
It's too fucking hot. House I just came from, no fucking air. I'm like, I'm all right on that shit.
Oh.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
We keep it cold in our house. Like, and I say that we keep it like 68, between 68 and 70, but not this week. It's gotten up to, I think, 73 or 74, and we have a new air conditioning unit. We got it a year and a half ago.
I'm spoiled because I lived the first 14, 15 years of my life without central air. And then once I stopped going to private school, it's crazy. My parents had money for things like central air. And once I had that, ever since that, dude, I'm a full-grown man. I will live in climate control. Like I will figure it out.
Oh, I've been saying this for fucking 15 years. If you're over 30 and you own a car without air conditioning, you've made some fucked up decisions in your life.
I will do the budget-wise billing with DTE to make sure I have central air where I live. Like I give no man. Because while we were talking about this before the show. I'd rather be hot than cold. Like I'd rather be sweltering in 90-degree heat than sub-zero wind chills. But being hot sucks. We've all done it. We've all done it. We've all slept in our underwear 2 feet from a box fan at some point in our life, and that shit is miserable.
I don't know. Shit pops off in the heat a lot more in the cold. Motherfuckers aren't so quick to let their shit fucking.
Well, yeah, but they're not my house.
I'm just saying, man. Fucking.
Well, yeah,
we are not up here in Michigan. We are not a warm weather people. We are not adjusted to this shit. You go down to Florida, it's a different fucking attitude. When it's hot, they know how to live in heat. We get miserable and violent and hate everybody, and it's just it sucks. It really does. I do not like fucking. I do not like when it gets super hot up here.
I've seen a lot of people flip other people the bird this week on the road, out the window.
Dude, the shit I see people doing on the road in the last 2 years, I've told everyone on this podcast, I think, except for maybe Earl, the story, but people think they're protected. And I think that's a post-pandemic thing. Motherfuckers were locked up too long. It's just the natural fucking I'm protected. I'm entitled to do whatever I want.
Well, you had
you've been locked up for 2 years and pissed at the world.
You had a warrior last week. You want to tell? Or yes, no?
Didn't I tell the story on the air, or did I tell it before we went on the air last week?
I think you told it before or after. I think it was.
Long story short, I was my job. I drive, and I was in a neighborhood, and the area I was in, there's a lot of lakes, and so they build around the lakes because that's the draw of the area. So these roads are probably 50, 60, 70 years old, and they're made for one car to drive, and you can maybe get 1.5 car before you're driving on. You got 2 wheels on someone's fucking lawn. So I'm coming around a corner, and and there's trees built up, so it's either houses, trees, or and then the next block over is the lake. And I was coming around the corner and someone had parked a work truck, a big old diesel work truck. And I didn't see it till I was coming around the corner, so I was busy looking at that. I'm looking for an address, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm driving an old vehicle, and I go over a speed bump. Old vehicle, speed bump. Front end kisses the ground, right? I was doing like 20 over the speed bump. What's the, I mean, like what, 10, 15? Unless it says like 5 over a speed bump. I mean, I did go over it fast, but like, I wasn't bombing through there doing 60. Long story short, get to the place where I needed to get, deliver, turn around, have to go back on the same road to get out of the neighborhood. And I'm driving, and this dude just stands in the middle of the fucking road with his hands on his hips like he's fucking Superman. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who this dude is. And so I stop, and I'm like, are you all right? Can I help you? And he just starts fucking coming at me, like he puts his hands on my car and leans in my car, and he's like literally 3 inches from my nose, from the tip of his nose to the tip of my nose, and he just starts giving me like his father-in-law lives in this neighborhood, and his grandkids live in this neighborhood, and I was doing like, you know, I was bombing through and I'm like, okay, I wasn't bombing through the neighborhood, and I started explaining to myself, and then I just realized something. Why the fuck am I explaining myself to this asshole?
If you don't have a badge, I don't have to fucking talk to you.
And I'm like, and so I was like, okay, like after I realized, like, I don't have to explain myself to you. I was like, you know what, dude? Here, first of all, get your fucking hands off my fucking car. So he took his hands off my car, and I was like, and we're fucking done here. And I went to go pull off, and he's like, well, I got your fucking vehicle and license plate on my Ring camera. And I'm like, good, call the cops. And I'm just idling off at this point because there's the speed bump that caused all this, right? Not caused all this, but you get what I'm saying. And as I go over the speed bump, I basically yell back with as much of my body hanging out the window while still being able to control the vehicle as I was driving it. Slow enough for you, asshole? And then he yelled back my license plate number, and I said, well, I yelled out my address at the time and said, send them. And that was the end of it. No cops showed up, nothing. But I'm just like, that is something that, now for people that don't understand, I was living in an area that is very much more well-to-do as far as the residents and how much they make. I mean, these are summer houses on the lake that probably go for at least $500,000, and they're shitholes. These are people's fucking playhouses that cost $500,000. All right, these are people who probably don't hear the word no because they got enough money to buy the word yes. But I'm not from that type of money to where I think I can walk around and I'm protected.
Like, part of me thinks it's that, because trust me, I saw that your neighborhood, and I was like, yeah, I get. But two, there's like, and it's definitely within the last 5 to 10 years, everyone wants to be a fucking hero. Everyone wants to settle your hash. Everyone wants to set you straight. Why? What I want to ask that guy, what's your end game with this? Like, this is some fucking DoorDash driver you're never gonna fucking see ever again.
Well, that was the really weird part. I forgot to add that. This is what threw me for a loop, because honestly my instinct was, get the fuck out of my way, you stupid cocksucker. But what threw me for a loop is that he came over and like I said, like putting his hands on my window, leaning in the car, and then started like talking to me like we've had this conversation multiple times. And I'm looking at him like, motherfucker, I've never seen you ever. Bitch, you're brand new. I don't know who the fuck you are. And you're sitting here having a conversation like I've been doing this for fucking 6 months every day, like purposely, like, hey, let your kids out. I'll be around here tomorrow around this time. Run them over. See if I can get the fucking, double score or whatever.
What's ballsy on his? Honestly, we are a conceal and carry state. How does he know you weren't packing?
We're also a state that says if you're driving and someone's impeding you for whatever fucking reason and they're threatening you, that you can fucking run them over. That's why the fuck you think we didn't have problems with the bullshit in Detroit that other cities did during the Summer of Love 2.0.
Yeah,
because
in Michigan you can go move.
Yeah, you go move or you go get out the fucking way, and it's that simple. So yeah, basically, long story short, people just think they're protected. I really do, and I think it's coupled with the social media culture that we have now. that has been coming for, I'm telling you, man, when I was on that forum, that musicians forum 20 some years ago, that was the prototype for social media. That anyone who was on forums and bulletin board systems online in the 90s and early 2000s knows exactly what the fuck was coming. And we saw it just on smaller scales. Now we're seeing it on a mass scale. And people fucking think that, like, remember during the Summer of Love 2.0 when people were, like, going around to the peaceful, the after effects of the peaceful protest?
Both the peaceful protests?
The smoldering effects of the peaceful protest. And taking pictures and having random people walking down the street take pictures of them fixing things and then literally getting back in their car and driving off. They literally pull up, hop out, have a stranger hand them their phone, take a picture. Hey, look, I'm working in an underprivileged neighborhood. I'm helping minorities. Yes. And then get back in their car and drive off.
And it's all for social media clout.
That's what this shit is. People think they're protected. There's a level of entitlement there that you don't see. Like, that shit happens in the hood and in poor areas. You just expect to take an ass whooping or deal with the cops at the end of it. This motherfucker walked out there with the God-given certainty that he was going to get his fucking way. And the minute that he tried to get gangster with it, and I was like, oh, I like it that way. Come on. He was like, I'm calling the cops. You can't come at me all gangster.
What are you going to tell them?
And then call the cops when the shit don't go your fucking way because, hey, you want to cross fucking streams? We can cross streams, motherfucker. Let's go.
I would say, go call the cops. What are you going to tell them? I got in this guy's face and he got in my face back. What is your actual complaint going to be?
I was leaning into his vehicle trying to physically intimidate him, and he wasn't intimidated.
Yeah, like in that situation, I'd be like, go ahead, dude. What did I do?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, dude. We're in the middle of nowhere. Even if he has a fucking direct line to the police station, to the nearest cop, if he can't fight, he ain't going to be fucking standing up when the cop gets there. And he might not be breathing very fucking well if the cop gets there. People need to fucking remember that. This is not the time to be fucking with other people. Jess and I were talking about this off the air. The last 2 years, people's mental health has went in the fucking toilet. And I'm not talking about the bullshit fucking shootings that, well, this, you know, I'm talking about just all around. People we have way shorter tempers. We have no patience for anything. And this is because we've been fucking cooped up and on top of each other for fucking 2 years and told that everything we're seeing is bullshit.
Well, and every person is your enemy. Any person could come near you and they could kill you with a virus that they don't know that they have.
We have absolutely went in 20 years from why are you trusting the and I'm talking about the progressive liberal people. Why are you trusting the government of all fucking people for anything to now they don't trust their own family members, but they'll fucking bend the knee for fucking big, you know, for the government, for daddy government to come in and tell them what to do. And these are the same fucking people. And I'm just going, you can't talk to the people like that. You can't. So this is what we get. And, well, enjoy it. This is what everybody wanted, right? Because everybody just let it happen. And, I mean, I'm to the point where if people don't want shit to happen, they will try to stop it or speak up. So everyone who sat silent for the last fucking decade can suck my ass. I ain't trying to hear anything you got to say. You go on the long list and you go at the end of the list. You had your chance. You pissed it away. Fuck off. And I think that's what needs to happen. And these people, seriously, we need to remind people. Something needs to happen. People need to be fucking reminded. There's real life consequences out here. What is it? When Mike Tyson got picked on in that fucking plane, and that dude was fucking with him, and someone pulled a quote that he had posted on the internet from, you know, I don't know, half a decade ago or something, said, too many people are used to talking shit on the internet and not getting punched in the mouth. That's the problem. And then basically the more famous quote, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the face. That was that conversation. People need to be reminded of that.
Hey, I agree.
I'm just watching, trying to figure out what Chris is doing here. So I was like, because I see the laptop and he's over here click, click, click. So I was just waiting to see what drop he was going to put in there.
Let's play that.
Hey, you're not allowed to rent here anymore. Yeah!
You need to be at the end of your... If she said, fuck you.
But, yeah, so, I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, I guess we can use that as a transition. Kenobi ended. And I just want to, no one on this, did anyone on this podcast watch one episode of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
No, but I'm intrigued once I found out the timeline it was on.
No.
So you didn't, Earl.
I did not.
Jess, okay, that doesn't really shock me. Doesn't shock me with you. Earl waited for the midnight showing of fucking Phantom Menace. I'd say it's safe to say you're a fan, right?
I used to be.
No. Motherfucker, yes. Thank you for fucking putting the cart before the horse. Thank you. That's how much fucking someone who would wait 20 years ago, give or take, for a fucking movie all night is now can't even be bothered to go click and watch a TV show from the same franchise.
I mean, I've heard nothing but good things. And I said once I heard the timeline it was on.
I've heard nothing but bad things. So, I don't know. And I mean, like, dude, there's one part where he's wearing a trench coat and he sneaks little child, by the way, perfect child who's basically a 10-year-old adult, Leia, under his fucking trench coat, like Spanky and our gang style, out past a bunch of fucking imperial fucking like inquisitors and shit who have the Force and can sense Force sensitive people. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia just walk out with her under a trench coat. And I'm like, are you serious?
Were they going dun 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 dun?
Dude.
Dun 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 dun.
Hey, pull up the chat. Can you pull up YouTube on this or no?
No, not on that one.
I was going to say that if you listeners, if you want to laugh and you haven't watched this show, pull up. It's got to be on YouTube by now.
Is it
Leia's chase scene from Obi-Wan?
Is it lamer than Luke dusting off his shoulder? That is the lamest thing I have ever seen.
Do you remember shows like Briscoe County Jr. or Sliders or like Xena?
Yes.
Or Hercules from the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the show looks like. Production quality. Like there's some digital effects where you can see where a lot of money went, and the rest of it is like, this looks like something filmed in the mid-90s on like a $20,000 budget. Literally, this chase scene is a 10-year-old child toddling away from two adult assassins, quote unquote, who are power walking after it. And this is compelling fucking this is compelling fucking entertainment to the smooth-brained idiots who cry over this bullshit, aka Star Wars excuse makers and fans. People who go, I've never seen, I like everything about Star Wars. Then you're an idiot. I don't like everything about everything. I'm a pretty big fan of pussy. Still don't like it about fucking 5-6 days a month, okay? So, just saying. No one likes 100% about everything. About anything, excuse me. So, yeah. So, now that's out there. I just thought that was funny because it's like, it's hilarious that I'm like, wow, I don't know anyone who's really talking about it. All my friends who are Star Wars people, no one seems to have given a shit. So, I'm like, oh, okay. However, we did have a co-host who went and saw a movie in the theater. People still apparently do that.
It was very necessary. Is there any other way to experience Jurassic World?
Jurassic Park was just too late for me to give a fuck. I discovered pussy and music by that point, so I just did not. I was like, ooh, yeah, it looks real.
It's okay. I was in like 7th grade when Jurassic Park came out. I was like, and I think I saw 2, but after 2, no interest.
I don't think I ever saw. I haven't seen any of the new ones, and I haven't seen the third one.
Well, at this point, they're just remaking the same movie, aren't they?
I don't know. Let's ask Jess.
No, it's definitely not.
Something happened and the dinosaurs got out. Oh, no.
Well, they got out on the wait, I mean, do I need to like yell spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen this? Please skip or go away, and I don't know. But the dinosaurs have never gotten out on like the mainland. This last movie is about the dinosaurs getting out, like just people coexisting with dinosaurs.
Is there T-Rex climbing up the Eiffel Tower?
Well, no, they caught the T-Rex. I think yes, they caught the T-Rex, but like there are raptors.
Yeah, like it's
raptors running through Times Square.
It was in the country, but you know. No, they made it pretty realistic. I thought it was interesting because we followed it, and I'm just completely shocked, Chris, that you don't watch this because of Chris Pratt. It's like all about him.
Yeah, but it's no interest in Jurassic Park. I mean, he's got plenty of projects I have not seen and have no interest in.
But it's about dinosaurs. Anyway.
No, when that new Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, I'm seeing that shit.
So I don't know how to really give like a movie synopsis because it's the end of, a trilogy.
Sounds like a great movie.
Okay, well, first of all...
You can't even think of how to tell us about it.
First of all... because Aaron was so great with all his movies. Well, first of all, it looks great. Well, they spent $200 million on it. It should look good. Is it in focus, motherfucker? Good. Okay. The bare minimum for it to be considered a fucking motion picture they took care of. How was the fucking movie? Roger Ebert was in focus. Okay. So, I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's not like we're fucking in-depth welcome, at the movies here. Look, from what, if this is a third in a new trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're going to see this movie and you haven't seen the first two, that's on fucking you. You didn't walk into Back to the Future Part 3 talking about, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And if you did, you're an asshole. You're the problem. Fuck off. Die. Please, right now. So, what is the story setting up this movie? And if that's spoilers, fuck off.
The story is set, like, the first two, what are the first two movies
give us
that are setting it up?
Yeah, give us a summary of the first two movies going into this one.
Okay, so basically the first movie is about someone is attempting to reopen Jurassic Park, right? But they're making it bigger and better and more scary. The second movie is it's about how they're taking the Jurassic Park obviously has been shut down. Because it all fell apart just like in the first movie. They are going, they're going and the island is going to explode because it's on a volcano. And the two main characters get, it's Claire and Owen. And I forget the girl's name who plays Claire, but Owen is Chris Pratt. And they are going they've been contracted by somebody to come in and get the dinosaurs to save whatever dinosaurs they can go save and take them to a sanctuary. But it turns out they're not taking them to a sanctuary. They're taking them to the person who's going to take their DNA and keep making hybrids to weaponize them. So then they're trying to shut that whole thing down. And at the end, the dinosaurs really shut it down. It just all kind of fell apart like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, the first ones on those. But in the end, the dinosaurs are about to die. There is a girl who was also, you get introduced to this character who's I think a 10-year-old little girl who was also made by genetic sequencing that you find out at the end of the movie.
Does she have dinosaur?
No. She's a carbon copy of her mom. The story got a little confusing there because it's kind of like they messed up somewhere between telling the story about her mom and how the grandfather was so distraught that the mom had died that he made a clone of his daughter. And so he was raising this little girl who was just like literally a clone of his daughter. And it was also the person who was the investor in making the clones of the dinosaurs. But then in the third movie, they tried to kind of take it and make it so that her mom was the one who actually cloned herself. And it was because she had some rare genetic condition and she was able to edit the gene out of that. And she was experimenting on herself as a baby. They do a much better job at telling the story than what I'm doing.
But the flaw in her logic is that's not you. You're still going to die of your crazy condition.
Well, yeah, and she did for the story. But she was able to clone herself and then edit that gene out of the clone of herself.
Okay, so my first question is, do you feel that they told this 3-movie story where it's comprehensible, it's understandable, and you can't drive trucks through plot holes?
The only truck you can drive through any plot hole is
dinosaurs being alive again?
No, that's totally
Sorry.
feasible. Is from, like I said, it's like, and maybe I just missed something, but at the second movie you learn that the girl is a clone of her mom, that she is just made from her mom's DNA. And then in the third movie, it's like they tried to rewrite that narrative with absolutely no explanation of why the story changed that I heard. That's the only plot hole I could find. I felt like the whole story was good. I was honestly expecting more of a, I don't know, I guess like kind of like what Chris was saying, like T-Rexes climbing the Eiffel Tower and shit. But that wasn't what they focused on in the third movie at all. What they actually ended up focusing on was people who were doing more testing and using this sort of gene editing, DNA growth to create different things that they wanted to create, and they were using that for the things that they shouldn't use it for, like creating massive locusts that would destroy crops, but not the crops of the company who wanted to basically be the monopoly of the crops. It almost felt like a call out to like Monsanto, if that makes any sense at all. And like I said, I'm explaining it so poorly. I wish someone else had seen this movie so they could like be bouncing in with me on this.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, maybe if I was 10 years younger when Jurassic Park come out, well, not 10 years because I'd have been like really young. I don't know. I read the book when I was a kid, but it's just, I was like a teenager. So maybe if I was like 5-6 years younger, it'd have been a bigger thing. But to me, it's like, it's not the story that, I'm not really asking about the story because, I mean, I haven't seen the movies. I just want to know if they tell a cohesive story, because a lot of the criticism I'm hearing is that a lot of people who have, like, I guess are fans of the franchise said they started seeing these movies and they feel like this one just kind of fizzled out, and they were like, hey, here's a bunch of fucking good explosions or big explosions and nonsense and all that shit. So there you go. That's what we're going to put on the screen instead of actually telling a fucking comprehensive story. And I was just wondering if you picked up on that, or if that's just these people that's just their take on it and you didn't see it.
I did not see that as much.
Okay.
Personally, I thought they wrapped it up pretty well.
Okay. Well, I mean, so that's what, 6 Jurassic Park movies now. So yes. What are we waiting for? A television show, streaming service gonna pick it up?
Disney Plus, baby.
No, they don't. I don't think Disney owns Jurassic Park. I think it's Paramount. I don't know.
It might be Universal.
Does Disney own Universal?
Either.
I don't know.
Universal. No, NBC does.
Okay. Yeah, because Universal used to have the Marvel heroes, and then Disney bought Marvel, and they had to get rid of their rides at the Universal Studios in Florida and shit.
Oh, really?
Well, they don't own the rights to them.
Oh, wow.
How can you have a Hulk ride when you don't own the rights to the Hulk?
Pay for it?
Angry green dude? What's the fucking point when Disney World is right across the street?
Yeah, that's true.
People just go there for the real thing.
There is a cartoon. It's called Camp Cretaceous. Mm-hmm. And it is, it picks up at the end of the first Jurassic World movie, where whenever Jurassic World got completely, overtaken and evacuated and shut down, kind of like Jurassic Park did, there were, in this TV show, this cartoon, there were these kids that were left behind who were trying to survive. And as the movies have come out, and the plots have come out, and as they've introduced things like hybrid dinosaurs, they're also introduced in this cartoon. It's on Netflix. We love it. That's one of the ones we watch with the kids.
Gotcha. Okay, so, all right. I mean, it basically sounds like what I figured Jurassic Park was gonna be, like something that if you're really into the first ones, because didn't they bring back like the original cast? They did that bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
They brought back Dr. Grant. The blonde girl, whose name I can't remember. I'm
Laura
not
Dern.
the person
Laura
to be
Dern.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laura Dern,
I'm
Sam,
not,
whatever his name is.
Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum. Yep. Now,
yes.
Now, here's something that has nothing to do with the movie, but I've heard more about this story, the story I'm about to bring up, than I've heard about this fucking movie. And I'm starting to wonder if this is like the new marketing, like the way they do marketing. Apparently, Twitter or somebody is upset online was upset and like wanted to start a protest of this movie because of the age difference between Sam Neill and Laura Dern.
Oh my God, they're adults for starters.
And I'm like,
they were adults in the first movie.
And I'm like, okay, so like what's the age difference? And apparently it's like, I don't know, I think it's like 15, 20 years or something. And I'm like, okay, and so women in their mid-20s never date men in their mid to late 30s or early 40s? That never, like, and I'm just like,
false.
This to me, this is why I wanted to get like your take on the movie out, because this to me feels like, since this story is being pushed and this is the story I'm hearing about, like I heard about it on NPR. I've seen articles posted about it. I've seen all the usual
like really someone
media
in their
outlets that would cover Jurassic Park have posted a version of this story.
So someone in their early 30s has never gone out on a date with someone in their late 40s. That's just
apparently not.
That's never happened.
Or if it is, it's grooming. I mean, it's like basically some of these articles were saying that it's predatory behavior.
I'd like to look up
for an older man to be with a younger woman.
I'd like to look up a lot of Hollywood couples' ages right now.
Well, how about this?
Especially a lot of the woke ones.
How about this? Are you getting raped every time you have sex? No. So you're
not doing it right.
Well, if you're not getting raped every time you had sex, then you are obviously consenting.
Yeah.
And if you're consenting to it, you're the problem. If it's problematic, if you're fucking older men. Maybe you need to work on that. Why is it that guy's problem to worry about your daddy issues?
Right. He's just getting laid.
But once again, forest for the trees, we see where you fucking, that tripped your fucking trigger. So it's like, man, fuck you, bitch. So you want yourself a 20-something. We got that now.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Montclair State University is affordable. Montclair State University is inclusive. Montclair State University is practical with career-building programs. Montclair State University is personal with one-on-one support for every step of your educational journey. And Montclair State University is here for you. Elevate your future. Learn more at montclair.edu.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there, and the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Montclair State University is affordable. Montclair State University is inclusive. Montclair State University is practical with career-building programs. Montclair State University is personal with one-on-one support for every step of your educational journey. And Montclair State University is here for you. Elevate your future. Learn more at montclair.edu.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Anyways, my thing is more, it's like, this is, if the movie was good, would this have been like a half-assed attempt at marketing? Like hate marketing? And I feel like this is like on page 3 of the fucking marketing playbook anymore.
Remember the new all female Ghostbusters movie? That's all he talked about was all of the blowback and everything from online, because guess what? That movie sucked ass. They didn't want and remember when the all women Oceans movie came out a few years ago? If you talked bad about it, you were a misogynist. But guess what? Critics and people who saw it agreed it was a piece of shit.
Well, it's the same thing with the Charlie's Angels remake that Elizabeth Banks redid with Twilight girl, Kristen Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that comes out, and Elizabeth Banks, as far as I knew, in pop culture circles, had nothing but goodwill towards her. She comes out and starts, I'm just so tired of every fucking action movie being a bunch of fucking white males. I'm so fucking sick of it. We want to see women on the screen. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, you know what? Look at the receipts.
And then she got to the point where she said, I don't want them to come see my movie. And they didn't. And then it was white males' fault that her movie failed. I have no sympathy for these people anymore.
Which is it, right?
That's what I'm saying. So, Jess, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm going to assume that, if you would have picked up that they were laying on some pretty thick, woke flake bullshit or pushing the message hard as fuck in that movie, that you would have said something about it. So I'm taking it that you feel that it was pretty much free of all that, right?
Well, yes.
Okay. Now, so if it's free of that, why are they marketing it that way?
Well, I would argue that these movies have always have had a woke message, because the whole overarching message of all these movies is don't fuck with nature, and it's very that's very hippie, all that crap.
I don't know if that's, dude. I know a lot of hunters that feel the same fucking. I know a lot of hunters who, believe it or not, outside of hunting, are very, very much about conservation and the environment, and they sound just like fucking hippies.
Come on, first movie, Jeff Goldblum, Life Always Finds a Way.
I mean, it was written by Michael Crichton, who, if you know anything about who Michael Crichton was, doctor, scientist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he wasn't pulling that shit out of his ass. I'm sure it was based on people and things he had heard said in that community.
He had a whole monologue about we fucked with something that we shouldn't have fucked with.
I don't see that as woke, though. I don't see that as trying to push I just see that as don't fuck with nature. It's like Bernie Mac said in that episode where the power was all fucked up and the girls were like, we're going to fix it on our own. He's like, okay, just call somebody. We can do it. We're girls. And at the end, they're like, we can't do it. And he's like, okay, call somebody. Well, you fix it, Uncle Bernie. That's electricity. I don't play with God. You call somebody. It wasn't about you need a man. It's about you need an expert. Yeah. That's you know what I'm saying? That's the message I was taking from that.
I might be the minority here. After a while, if you stretch it out too far, the movies just don't do it for me anymore. I.e., The Matrix. The trilogy I thought was awesome. This last one? No. Not even close.
I think what Earl's saying is by number 6, he's a little fatigued.
I'm just saying, Star Wars, you asked me about that. It was like, they came out with the new 3 and we were like, holy shit. Yeah, I got to see this. And then The Mandalorian and then this and then that. And then that. And I'm like, come on, man. Stop it. It's played out. Fast and the Furious, same thing. How much shit can you race? Stop.
Dude, that's car fu. That is 80s Van Damme kung fu movies with cars for the same fucking moronic fucking fan base, dude.
And Earl, to answer every question you just asked, they don't keep making things that don't make money. If they keep making money, they keep making them. That's why we're on Fast and Furious 12. Vin Diesel's going to be in the fucking Fast Furious 14 is going to be street racing wheelchairs.
All I know is I sat through one of those movies, and outside of Jordana Brewster, I couldn't give a single fuck about it.
I know people who love those movies.
Yeah, I know. We did a podcast with him, and he would defend them and then sit here and talk shit about everything else being stupid. So it's like, bro, your taste is sus as it is. And go ask your children if you don't know what that means.
But right. But still, even just not him, dude, people love those movies. I'm not one of those people. But like I said,
stupid.
They ain't made 10 of them because people aren't watching them.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Earl's talking about franchise fatigue. I get that. If these were all good, if these were good movies, if these were good projects, if these were good television shows, we wouldn't be talking about this shit. It's when they start to suck. It's when it just becomes content. This goes back to what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Content. Content is just something to fill an empty space. You want to make art, you got to work at it. Content, any idiot can fucking put it out there, and it's just something to occupy your fucking mind. It's fucking junk food. for your brain. That's what content is. That's what Star Wars has become. Fuck that, dude. And I have no patience and no desire to understand where people are coming from who want to defend it because you're istophobic if you don't like it. No, it's written badly. It's filmed badly. It looks like Kenobi had $200 million to film 6 hours of television. They instead filmed, 40-minute episodes, 6 of them, and it looks like literally something that is done on a computer that's probably you can pick up at Best Buy.
It's also only 4 hours of television.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's if the shit was good, people wouldn't be having franchise fatigue. I think people are having franchise fatigue, and I also think because corporations have figured out that if they play to the Twitter mob, that they at least get the, I don't know, what do you call it, the kudos from the Twitter mob, online, and that's good enough for them. So they go, oh, you don't like it? It's because you're an istophobe. You hate women. You hate gay people. You hate black people. You hate anyone who's not you. Whatever the fuck their fucking bullshit is this week. And it's just like, no, it's garbage, dude. It's garbage. I mean, Chris, you don't watch this shit? I swear to God, I will sit down and show you clips of this shit, and you'll be like, this is Star Wars? This looks like something we would have done in Specs Howard. And I am not fucking exaggerating with you, dude. Like, I'm not joking. $200 million? And this is this is what Disney
How much of that was Ewan McGregor's salary?
I don't know. How much was his divorce so he could marry the 29-year-old he's fucking currently humping?
See? There you go.
Well, and then they bring Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader. He's not big enough to be Darth Vader in the suit at all times. Because the guy who played Darth Vader was like 6'9". Hayden Christensen's like 6 foot, if that. So they have a body double in the full body Vader suit. James Earl Jones does the voice. What the fuck did Hayden Christensen do?
There wasn't a workout montage where Darth's in the gym trying to get bigger.
What, like Rocky IV?
Yeah.
While fucking Survivor plays? No, there was none of that.
Like, I didn't start 6'9" like that. I had to work out. They show him getting put some lifts in his boots.
But
just what you guys are saying though. That just okay. Like Back to the Future trilogy, right? How many times can you get stuck and mess up and make the same freaking mistakes, man?
It wasn't the same. Come on now, it's different.
No, but it was. You're right.
The plot lines for you.
No, but listen, it was different. You're right. And it was a good trilogy. But if you kept going, people would be like, seriously, dude?
It's true.
And that's how I feel with Star Wars and Jurassic Park, Fast and Furious, all that shit. I like a movie or a trilogy because of the story. But when you start stringing it out and getting it real fucking thin, I'm just like, okay, now I don't really like the trilogy anymore. Thanks, fuck.
Well, I mean, look, full disclosure, I haven't watched the entire thing of Kenobi. I haven't even watched one full episode straight through. But I've kept abreast of it enough to know that, like, there's no story being told here. They're completely changing the history of Star Wars to tell a story just so they can get people to subscribe to their goddamn streaming service is really what it is. And, I mean, like, they've owned Star Wars for a decade now, and it took them a decade to get to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. They've already shot their load with the Han Solo movie that nobody gave a fuck about. Dude, it's the first Star Wars movie not to break $1 billion.
Wow.
Think about that. That means in 1977, the first one broke $1 billion. And a movie that come out, 5 years ago couldn't do it? With Disney and Star Wars behind it in the name? That's insanity.
And Ron Howard directing it?
Yeah, big. I mean, well, I guess it means something to people our age and older.
It's true.
Everybody else is like, who's that?
It's Bryce Dallas Howard's
dad. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I was just wanting to see your take on it, and I didn't want to fucking say anything and taint the waters. You know what I'm saying? Like, putting the ideas in your head, and you'd be like, yeah, it was kind of woke now that I think about it. Like, I didn't want to influence the outcome.
No. I'm so, hypersensitive to anything that is at all. I don't want any agenda pushed on me when I'm watching something for entertainment.
Same here.
I don't want anything. Like, it drives me absolutely insane. So I was real anxious going into it. Not really. Like, I wasn't having genuine anxiety, but I was very, like, cautious going into it, like, not getting my expectations too high. Because I was just waiting. I was waiting on them to just throw out anything to push any variation of a political agenda. And I did, like I said, there was that little bit of thing where they were talking about the seeds and the seeds that were resistant to the locusts, and that felt like some sort of call to Monsanto or something of the like. But it wasn't overly in your face. It was enough that you could just forget about it. And also, on that same train of thought, does anyone on here watch Stranger Things?
No.
Yes.
I love that because of when they're set, they stay so set in the 80s, right? Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
That they politicize nothing. It is so refreshing. Unless, Earl, if you've seen anything that had gone over my head, but I've really tried to hone into it, and there is nothing pushed to you on that. And because they're just staying true to the time frame, they don't get called out on it. And it has been a breath of fresh air.
Well, I think one of the things is there's certain things that, especially that came to be pretty much obligatory in entertainment in Hollywood with Gen X and millennials, to the point where I'd say that any generation that comes after us, this is just a given. If there's a corporation in a movie, they're the bad guy automatically. That's the default setting. And even if there's a good person working at the corporation, there's usually they depict some sort of fucking struggle,
right,
and moral fucking quandary about working for an evil company and being a good person. That's just where they're coming from. And I kind of always felt that Jurassic Park, which is something that I think was shocked, it hasn't been brought up a lot. More so than don't mess with nature, which, I mean, that message is in there, but also profit at what fucking cost, because you're releasing creatures on the world that could wipe out literally everyone on that island in a couple hours for what? Pure profit, not for anything else.
In the first couple movies, that point may have been brought up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of built into it. So, like, that type of stuff, I expect. You know what I'm saying? That's like the baseline. That's I expect that type of shit. So when I say anything above and beyond, because there's certain people now who go to a movie and the minute that they say like, "Oh, he's the CEO and he's a son of a bitch. Oh, this is a woke piece of shit movie. They hate fucking corporate America." It's like, dude, somebody's got to be the bad guy. You want to watch a movie where everyone sits around fucking singing Kumbaya, holding hands and shit? Come on, dude.
It's a new format. No bad guys.
Yes,
no conflict.
No conflict. Wait. We're going to teach conflict resolution by having no conflict. Well, wait a minute. That's Jess. Answer for your generation. That's pretty much you guys' game plan.
That's yeah.
And next time you're at the meeting, bring that up, Jess.
I will.
Just don't stand up at the all white folks from Tennessee meeting and say this shit, because I'll be like, you'd be like, "I'm sorry. Today's Tuesday, right?
Sorry, wrong meeting.
Wrong meeting, yeah." But, all right. Well, anyways, anything else? As far as Jurassic Park, but I do have one thing, recommendation for the listeners and possibly some co-host or two who might watch it. But anything else on Jurassic Park before we move on?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, so I'm going to it's not like I said, we're not doing an in-depth fucking film analysis. This isn't a UCLA film class. Would you recommend it, and who would you recommend it for?
Oh, I would recommend it, obviously, for anyone who liked the original trilogy. Like, that's a given. But I think it's good for everybody. It's a good story. It has something literally for everyone. We went with, we took the kids to see it, and they're young. And then there were, in the theater when we were there were definitely some older people in there, and everyone enjoyed themselves from the sounds that they were making. So
it didn't sound like someone stirring macaroni and cheese right behind you?
No, absolutely not.
So no one was fucking. Okay, cool.
No.
Well, no.
The older people were sitting behind me. That would have been upsetting.
Well, then you might have heard a cink clink. It's like a really big pot. Maybe a little worn out around the edges. You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Wow.
What do you want the visual? Pulling apart an old woman's pussy lips is like a bad grilled ham and cheese sandwich.
No,
Oh,
please
come
no.
Yummy.
Oh God. Anyways, yeah. So I actually kind of half-ass watched the show by accident. Didn't mean to get sucked up into it, but over the last week and moving and shit, I had weird downtime and periods where I could just watch this show called The Offer. It was on one of the streaming services, I think like Paramount Plus or Apple Plus, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Isn't Adam Scott in that?
I have no idea who Adam Scott is.
He was the brother in. He was Will Ferrell's little brother in Step Brothers. He's in Parks and Rec. He was in Big Little Lies.
It's possible. There's
Children's Hospital.
I mean, I know those shows, but I never watched them. But I mean, there's so many people. Like the guy who used to be married to Christina Hendricks, the big, tall, goofy-looking motherfucker, who was in Super Troopers, who's like, I love acid, and ate all the shrooms when they got pulled over.
That's right. Yeah,
he's in it.
Oh, they got divorced?
Yeah, they got divorced.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know, right?
Did she find a mirror?
I don't know. But no, this whole show is about the making of The Godfather. And
no, no, it is not what I thought it was.
Okay. And it's interesting because there's a lot of shit that even I didn't know, and I'm kind of like a amateur movie historian. Like that shit fascinates me, and I read up on it. I didn't know everything that happened, but I'll definitely recommend it. And if you don't know about the making of The Godfather, I would say go into it with knowing as little as possible. And I mean, also understand that, it is Hollywood. I'm sure some of it's exaggerated. It has to be. It always is. But good show. And yeah, shocking that no one is talking about it. And the guy the lead guy in it is Miles Teller, who played Goose's son in the new Top Gun. So I guess this motherfucker's like...
Rooster?
Yeah. So I guess this motherfucker, they're pushing him to be like the next big fucking thing.
I keep hearing this dude's name. I should probably
Miles
look him up.
Teller. He was in Fantastic Four and Whiplash. But yeah, so if you're looking for something like that, like a new show, it's a mini-series. I don't think it's going to be more than one season. I think it's like 8 or 10 episodes, about an hour every episode. Check that out. So there you go. There's our pop culture segment for the week for you, fuckers. Enjoy it.
Fuckers.
Sure, why not? Anyways,
he just looks like random brunette guy.
Well, all I know is that he's got a pouty look to him. He's like 6 foot tall and built like average, but everybody on that fucking show must be tiny because he looked huge compared to everybody else.
I'm 4'8".
I'm like, bro, he ain't that tall. He ain't that big even. Like he ain't Ben Affleck's like 6'5", like 250, and as wide as a door frame. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a big boy. That ain't that dude, but yeah. I guess they're pushing him to be the new Hollywood thing. That's the first thing I've seen him in that I really liked him in. He was all right in Top Gun, but Top Gun, it was like, it's a popcorn movie. You go to watch fucking planes and people fight and shit blow up. You don't go for the acting.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever was like, Val Kilmer deserves an Oscar for that Iceman role. It's never been said before until I just said it right now. So, but all right. So moving on.
And Val couldn't say it anyway. Oh, too soon.
No, he can say. He just say.
Oh, so have you seen him talk lately? Yeah, he's
Hey man, throat cancer's that's a bitch. It's a motherfucker. Cancer don't fuck around. Anyways, moving on. So, what do we got on the agenda here? We got the pop culture shit out the way. Jess, what do you got? What do you got?
The only thing that I threw out there to talk about was the economy, but that's pretty broad.
Well, I mean, go ahead and bring up what we talked about.
What, just how it's affecting everybody? Is that the conversation you're talking about?
Yeah, like
how it's affecting.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently we've.
Then there were 3.
Yeah. Apparently Earl had a emergency, so yeah, so we're down to just us. So yeah.
Well,
okay. I mean, like, how is it starting to affect situations where you're noticing it? And I'm not talking about like the price of gas either.
Right. No. We have been noticing, of course, there's the cost of food, which is something everyone else is talking about, but I don't know how much y'all have noticed the food prices just going completely through the roof, and what you've heard about what meat prices in particular are about to do, what they're projected to do. Have y'all heard anything about that?
I know right now it is cheaper for me to order from Grubhub every fucking day than it is to grocery shop right now. Like if I want to go buy a meal to like, especially if it involves meat, dude, if I want to make like a beef stew for me, like that is like $40 fucking almost $50 to buy the meat, the fucking onions, the fucking potato. Like I can order a beef stew from Grubhub and get it delivered with tip for like $23. Like
yeah, and with meat cost. So what the problem is with everything going up, feed prices are going up. Of course, we all know gas prices have gone up, and hay prices are all going up. So all of this stuff is skyrocketing, and that's what they're feeding to. I'm speaking specifically to cows, but chicken feed it's the same thing. Chicken feed's going up. I don't know what people who farm pigs are doing. They can feed their pigs pretty much anything, but I'm sure there's some regulations. I'm just not privy to it.
Here you go, eat this.
Yes. But all of that stuff is going up. So what's going to happen once it's time to harvest those animals is they're going to have to sell the animals to recuperate the cost of everything that they had to put into them.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing anywhere from 3 times as much to maintain an animal to 6 times as much to maintain an animal. And the farmers can't just eat that. They're going to have to sell it to recuperate the cost. So we haven't even seen the full effect yet on what's going to happen with meat. Not to mention the freaking cows that just were dropping dead in Kansas. Well, that's another shortage.
We're complaining about inflation right now, and it's at like 5%. You realize in the early 80s, it was at like 13%.
Is it? I thought it was at 8%.
In the early 80s, inflation was in double, 1982 was like just the worst year to do anything, like to have a job, it's all relative, right? But we're bitching right now. We're like the early 80s, like coming out of the Carter years, we haven't seen, there was, this is before my time and before Rich's. There was times in the 70s they ran out of gas. It wasn't even like, oh, there's cheap gas and there's lines. I was like, nope, out of gas. Sorry. They were rationing it and shit.
But everyone knows that this is a possibility because we've seen it in the past. And did inflation rise as quickly in the 80s as it's rising now?
Yes.
Do you know? Did it? Okay. Because there's just no end in sight.
Well, the Fed hikes are working because the real estate market's starting to cool down. It's the whole method to their madness is they raise the rates because they want people to stop spending money, and that's gonna put the economy. That's gonna bring things back to earth.
Okay, well, you're talking over my head with that. So,
gotcha. Well, it's when the Fed makes interest more expensive, people cool their jets on spending. The whole reason inflation happened is because people were putting more money into the economy. When they raise the rates, people stop putting money into the economy, and therefore it starts tamping down things like inflation.
Okay, so what would be the purpose of the rumored inflation relief checks?
I didn't see.
It's the overall goal.
Well, that's something that I read that yesterday. That's something the Democrats would like to see. That shit ain't gonna fucking happen. Because hey, here's a solution to our problem. The same thing that caused it. No.
A lot of the solution to the problem no one wants to deal with, and we can't deal with because our entire fucking society is built around businesses and how they run, and going to extract as much fucking profit as they can. They don't care, dude. They don't care about the cost, and that's just all there is to it.
Well,
if businesses fucking cut back on their profits, we could all fucking ease through this, but they're not going to do that, and no one's going to ask them to. You know why? Because we have to cut back. Because we're the bitches.
The purpose of owning a business is to make money.
Yes, and what good is it to have a business that is the most profitable business, and then you destroy your customer base through greedy ass fucking business practices to where you don't have a customer base to spend their fucking money on your product.
Because
that's what I don't.
Because if the profits go up, it doesn't matter. If the profits start going down, then they alter course. The whole purpose of starting a business is to one day sell it to make money. The business has to be worth more than it was when you started it.
Hey, we're not talking about a startup fucking in Silicon Valley, dude. We're talking about motherfuckers who have generational wealth that's been handed down for centuries and own businesses that ain't going anywhere. Oil companies, shit like that. I'm talking about people like that. How many fucking meat processing companies are there? There's like 5 of them for the entire fucking country. It's ridiculous. Like 5 companies that fucking handle meat processing in this country. That is ridiculous, dude. There are more than 5 pizza places within 5 miles of where we're sitting right now. I guarantee you. Like that's not the business practices.
There's nothing that says you can't start one.
Yeah, but these aren't people that are looking to sell their company. These are people who they might as well be like Ma Bell. They are a utility as far as they're concerned.
They didn't cause this problem. The government did. The whole dirty little secret no one wants to say right now. We're in this. This is all from the extra unemployment. This is all from the stimulus checks. We had so many economists saying the last 2 years, inflation's not going to. Basic supply and demand. We talked about this the other day. You put more money out in the economy, people are going to start charging more because there's more money to be made.
Okay, and so, all right, it doesn't matter, dude. Nothing. What is required to happen is never going to fucking happen. We are going to destroy ourselves so people can fucking have 15 fucking goddamn yachts sitting in a fucking ocean somewhere. That's just all there is to it. My concern is why I'm here. Fuck it. So, what's going on with the meat prices and all this shit? Have you heard any about that? About the fires in the meat plants and all this shit and the problems with the supply chains and all these fucking logistical problems that are popping up? And it's like there's a very limited amount of space, or not space, excuse me. There's a very limited amount of time and people who can do this job, and the people that are doing this job seem to be having fires and this and that. Jess, we talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe you can shed a little bit more details on the fires and stuff, because that's something that like I had heard about, but I don't know the details on. I don't know.
Oh, God. There have been, last count I heard it was 22, but I just stopped paying attention after that. There have been processing plants. There have been, there's this place called Azure Standard, and they are the largest independent bulk food distributor. And they had a fire, or they either had a fire or 2 airplanes now have crashed into some sort of processing or headquarters. It's just all of these quote unquote freak accidents happening where shit is literally burning while we're talking about food shortages, and while the White House is telling us, yes, there's going to be food shortages.
Okay,
and while farmers
are
struggling to get, like, no, I was saying, like, farmers are struggling to get the feed that they need.
I'm having flashbacks to 2 years. Weren't we hearing this same bullshit 2 years ago? But it was different. Like, it's running through the plants. There's this one plant that supplies all the beef to half of the country, and they can't produce anything right now because everybody's got COVID. And
no, that's not the fucking song they're singing now. If they're singing a different song 2 years ago, were they lying then or are they lying now? And either way, they're going to get away with it because no one cares, dude. No one cares. And it's just something I'm like, okay, so if no one gives a fuck, then I'll stop acting like we give a fuck. This is just how life is, right? This is the cost of living in USA, number one.
Yeah.
When we talk about, we gave all this money away to people for stimulus checks and unemployment, and that's what fucked us. Really? We couldn't have diverted money from anything else? Did we really need to have, like, the number one military, like, far and away during 2 years of COVID, we couldn't have fucking, like, maybe cut back on government spending, cut back on programs. No, that's not, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's business as usual, and everyone accepts that. And you just go, oh, well, that's how it is. Oh, well.
Well, how you going to change it?
Oh, well.
How are you changing it?
Well, I don't know.
How can we change it?
Bloody, I guess. How bloody do you want to get?
Okay, you first.
Okay. It's been to that point before in my life, dude. I mean, you're not talking to someone who's never fucking been homeless or fought for a fucking meal. So I don't understand where that's coming from. I'm saying literally, like, if people's attitude is we don't give a fuck, then own it and continue not to give a fuck. And by the way, don't give a fuck now, and I don't want to hear you giving a fuck 6 months from now when it's finally kicking your ass like it's been kicking everybody else's ass. Because those people get no sympathy from me.
I got 3 decades maybe left. I'm not going to worry about shit I can't control. I'm going to worry about the things I can control. We
can control this by fucking...
How can we control the price of meat? What can you and I do? What can we do to control the price of meat?
Get involved.
Go shop with a local farmer.
Okay. The local farmer.
Go ahead.
The local farmer who has to charge way more than the grocery stores because it costs him more because he doesn't have the edge of being hooked into a giant distributor. You're going to pay more going to that local farmer. If the whole point of this conversation is we're bitching about prices, that local farmer is going to charge you more because he has to.
My experience. Well, okay, yes, they do. But they don't have to charge the ridiculously inflated price.
Why? They're charging more than the grocery store.
Wait a minute. I know people who go hunting and have people who prep their fucking shit, their kills. They don't charge anything near what the professional, like, storefront places or wherever the fuck that I've heard. Like, they will literally take them to their buddy who has like 10 acres and he'll fucking gut and take care, like, butcher the thing for him.
Go shopping anywhere that's not a big name. You're paying more. So
I'm getting
because
a whole cow.
Bulk enables you to sell shit for cheaper. When you buy stuff in bulk, you get it cheaper. You can sell it cheaper.
No, I got you. I'm sorry. What did you say, Jess?
I'm getting a cow, like obviously a dead and processed cow. I'm not just putting one in my backyard, but I do that. I've been doing it now for 2 years, I guess. This is going to be my 3rd year. And I've always I did a quarter cow and then I did a half cow and now I have the capacity and I'm doing a whole cow. And the first year that I did it, I do mostly ground beef out of my share that I pick. And it was $4.60 a pound, to which my husband was like, that's ridiculous to pay for ground beef. And then the next year it was like $4.80 and he was like, well, I mean, that's about on par. And this year it's still going to be under $5 a pound. And I don't just get ground beef, but I do get ground beef. And it still comes out to under $5 a pound.
Somebody who lives in the city gives no fucks about what you just said. That's not how they get food.
But dude, that's not even the majority of Americans, dude. The majority of Americans don't live in the quote-unquote city in this country.
They live in urbanized areas.
Yeah, they live in fucking surrounding areas surrounding the city, but a lot of it is fucking, like, where I just moved from is considered urbanized. That's rural as fuck compared to any place, like, out here. I mean, it is what it is. It's flat out. This is not rural out here.
Yeah.
And they would consider this the same. Oh, they're the exact same thing on paper. They're suburbs. Completely fucking different. And I'm noticing a lot more people and friends I have. You say, what can we do? Okay, well, fuck it. I'll take the fucking reins on that. This is what we can do. Why don't you get together with a couple fucking friends, get a friend who actually owns a weapon, is a decent shot with it, goes hunting every year. Go in on fucking... a deer or two. Buy a fucking head of cattle and go in on.
So someone who lives at Whittier and Outer Drive is going to do that,
dude. If I can have it done sitting in Westland, Michigan, and don't even have to drive more than 10 miles, which by the way is like 10 miles from Detroit or 10 minutes from Detroit for people not from Michigan. Westland, Michigan's 10 minutes from Detroit. I can drive 15 minutes west and have it done in fucking Plymouth, Salem, in a dude's backyard. I know,
but that's you. That's not most people.
Okay, then I'm going to pull a you then. Then fuck them. They're too stupid to fucking survive. If they're too stupid to figure out how to fucking afford to live, and they're going to keep doing the dumb thing that's putting them in the poorhouse, then let them fucking starve.
They just hunt different than you.
That's not hunting. That's fucking going along and bending over and taking whatever they fucking shove up your ass. There are ways to beat the system, to work around the system. But if you have a vested interest in keeping the system working the way it is, you don't want that to change. So why would anyone fucking offer any help on change? Every solution that anyone comes up with, there's going to be 15 people to stand up and say, you're stupid for thinking that. And every fucking breakthrough we've ever had, society...
Seems to be who we listen to now.
Society,
those 15 people.
Science, technology has been from a group of fucking people standing around, bone deep certainty they are right, and the other people are fucking stupid, and they're wrong, and they don't know what they're talking about. And the next thing you know, the Wright brothers are in the air. Going, I'm sorry, who's stupid? Really? Okay, cool.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Montclair State University is affordable. Montclair State University is inclusive. Montclair State University is practical with career-building programs. Montclair State University is personal with one-on-one support for every step of your educational journey. And Montclair State University is here for you. Elevate your future. Learn more at montclair.edu. Montclair State University is affordable. Montclair State University is inclusive. Montclair State University is practical with career-building programs. Montclair State University is personal with one-on-one support for every step of your educational journey. And Montclair State University is here for you. Elevate your future. Learn more at montclair.edu.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Oppenheimer's like, yeah, I just split the atom. I'm a dumbass. Go ahead. Tell me about what you've done.
Yeah, but you're talking about two things that had science on their side.
That's what I'm saying. Everything. We have this attitude of, if it ain't the way that I was fucking taught from the get-go that fucks me over, then I don't want to do it. And I don't understand that. There's a better fucking way. Why not work for it?
What is it?
Why not work for it?
I keep hearing what is it?
Every answer I give you, you tell me, no, we can't do it. And we can't do it. Why? Because you don't want to do it, or you just don't think it can be done. Be honest. Be honest.
I just asked you a question. Answer it. What is it? There's a better way. What is it?
I've given you answers, and every answer I give you, you fucking go, no, that's stupid. No. What about this? Well, there's people listening. They don't care. Dude, most people in this country don't live in a fucking city. I pointed it out to you. You're like, well, what about people that do? They don't care. Okay, well, then go to the grocery store and pay fucking $7 a pound. What do you want me to fucking say? Dude, there are ways around this shit, and we have to find them. We have to find them. No one's coming over the fucking hill to rescue us. I figure you would, of anybody I know personally, I figured you of all people would be on board for that. Let's pull our fucking selves up by our own bootstraps and find our way out of this shit. Why are we looking to the government and corporations to solve this problem? They're the ones that got us in this problem. They have no fucking interest in solving it. There's no profit in solving it. So let us do it. What can we do? I mean, dude, there is an entire economy that happens that you don't obviously know about that I assumed you did. Do you understand? There are people literally living off of bartering.
Yeah, but that's not the majority. You're talking about a segment of the population.
That was a tiny percentage of a percentage point 20 years ago, and is now double digits, dude. In 20 years, we're going backwards. We're not growing. We're going backwards. Our standard of living is going backwards. Just because we have big, cheap, big screen TVs doesn't mean our life expectancy is going up. By any metric, you judge a society about infant mortality rate and life expectancy. Ours are plummeting compared to other civilized countries around this fucking globe. Why? Is it because we are so ingrained and we got it. We know how to do it right.
Well, what's causing it to plummet? What's causing you got to get to the root cause.
And every time we bring that up, people give well, that's stupid. That's never going to change. Okay, well, if it's stupid, it's never going to fucking change. Then what's the point of anything? It's the same people who, everything's a social construct. Then social constructs are social constructs. So fuck you. And by the way, I like your shirt. And murder's a social construct. So I'm going to kill you and take your shirt because there's no such thing as fucking morals because everything's a social construct, right? Like, how far up our ass are we going to get with this? Like, if someone offers solutions and you go, okay, let's put it to the fucking test. Let's put it into the center of the ring and the marketplace of free ideas. It has to survive criticism. If it withstands and it holds up to criticism, try it out. If it doesn't work, what did you lose? But we don't do that. We don't even talk about it. I mean, how hard is it? If you had a family to feed and you could fucking go in with 3 of your friends, buy a head of cattle, take it to someone, go in together, get it butchered, put it in your deep freezer, and basically eat fucking meat off of it for, I don't know. Jess, you probably have a better idea. Cow split 4 ways. That'd last you like what? At least like 3-4 months? As far
3
as,
months, yeah.
I got to imagine it's got to be better than going every day to the grocery store and ordering out. That's fucking ridiculous too. I stand at the crossroads of too poor to go grocery shopping, too poor to order out. You know what I eat? The garbage that they fucking pick up off the floor and put on a bun and sell for $1.50 at McDonald's. That's the option I have. If that's the only option I have, why should I keep trying, dude?
Because you're still eating.
But what's the point? Because it's killing me, and I know it. Like, is that it? Like, does your existence revolve around you just get up every day to go to work just so you can retire and die?
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ, I need to suck on a shotgun. Okay.
But what else is there?
If that's all this world is, then seriously, next motherfucker flips me off in traffic's getting a fucking beat down, and I hope he shoots me because I ain't got his. I guess I ain't made for this world, dude. That's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous. What is the point of life?
The person who comes up with the answer to that question is going to be very rich because we've been chasing it all of human existence.
But anytime we come up with something that we like to do,
the point of life is to
likes to do, fucking people start shitting on it and say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's not good for you." Blah, blah, blah,
point of
blah,
life
blah.
is to be happy with who you are and what you got.
Okay, who you are and what you have. Okay, so
not what you got like physically, just metaphorically.
No, I get it. I just, dude, I'm so fucking over this attitude of I'm gonna fucking anything anyone says I'm gonna shit on just for the fucking sake of shitting on it from people, and it's like, okay, then you're not interested in finding a solution, so this conversation isn't for you.
Most people aren't. Most people are just interested in getting through day to day.
Maybe that's the problem.
I think that's the problem.
I think if you got a family, that's pretty much what you're focusing on. Like most people are just trying to get to tomorrow, man.
I just don't.
We're trying to break that. We do. So have y'all seen a bigger push where y'all are for like more people putting in things like gardens?
Ironically, in the cities.
Like, well, yeah, that's been for.
It's been Detroit trying to figure out what to do with all these empty lots for like the last decade.
Yeah. So yeah,
I meant more like backyard gardens. Have y'all seen that?
That's kind of, at least in my family and my neighborhoods, everybody's grandmother always had.
Yeah, Midwest. That's my mom grew tomatoes. Like, yeah, I mean that's always kind of been. It's like a Midwest thing. There's always somebody somewhere growing something.
But so the term keeps being thrown around like victory gardens, and that's becoming more popularized again right now.
Something obnoxious from your age group.
It sounds like a garden with. It sounds like calling it a garden with extra steps.
Yeah.
No, that was I think that was after the Great Depression. People started putting in their hold on, let me fact check myself.
Well, I have heard
that makes sense to me.
I've heard the term victory garden recently somewhere.
The few years when people were standing in line for things like bread, yeah, that makes sense.
Right, but how far away are we from that?
We're not, because you know what caused the Great Depression? The banks failing. There's been safeguards. The FDIC was invented because of the Great Depression. Like that's when like people's money. That's what's going to happen with a lot of the crypto. The way crypto's going is people had a bunch of money and then it just fucking the bottom falls out and it goes away and they go, huh? What are you going to do? That's why the Great Depression happened. There was there was nothing to protect money in the banks, and everyone's fucking money just went poof.
Okay, but if you can't get food, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
I think I think you guys have been watching too much fucking cable news again. Like remember all the gloom and doom we were hearing in May and fucking April of 2020 about all the shortages and all the things that were coming down the pipe and all the things that never fucking happened.
Okay, but food prices are going up. And not going up a little bit, they're going up a lot of it.
But the price of everything is going up. To zero in on food right now, I think is short-sighted. Everything has gone up. Everything.
Except for what you're getting paid.
No, and that is also incorrect. Wage growth is like, I think at like a 20-year high in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it's doubled by the fucking inflation rate.
Yeah. But so you'd really notice.
Gee, how many times does that happen? Why don't we look historically when across the board wages go up? Oh, the price of everything else goes up. Why? Because we got to keep our profit margins high. That's just all there is to it.
Oh, it's more money circulating the economy.
It does us a lot of good, doesn't it? I mean, they're hoarding the shit. So yeah, I'm glad that you got like 15 fucking yachts to water ski behind. Good for you, dude. Like I'm sorry, I don't really care that Bill Gates can withstand a divorce and not even feel it. Anyways,
I know that our pay has gone up by like 3%. And inflation has gone up, and I'm just speaking to my little demographic right now. That's all I really can't speak to. I don't look nationally because honestly, it doesn't affect me.
I think the last I heard, the labor board's claiming like 6-7% as far across the board. Wages gone up, and I'm like, that seems kind of high, dude. Even the best unions I know only get a 5% bump.
It hasn't been. It's been in things like restaurants and hospitality, the things where they can't fucking keep people right now. That's where the wages have gone up the most.
So okay, let's say it was 7% that wages have gone up, right?
Yeah, and inflation. And they said 11% for inflation. The same report.
Well, I'm reading 8.6% for inflation.
Okay. Well, once again, this is the other problem. Where do you get your news from? Because 3 people will tell you it's a good source. 3 people tell you you're a moron and you're a fucking idiot for even looking at that source. So, once again, thank you, postmodernism. Everything's possible. Nothing's real except for death and taxes.
But so wages may be going up, but inflation's going up more.
Yeah.
And with the cost of food just skyrocketing well over 8%, 7%, whatever, like that. I don't care that I can't replace my TV. I care that I can't, that it's harder to get the quality food or food in general for my family.
Well, what's very.
Well, are you having that problem right now? That's what I'm saying. Is this more fear porn? Just coming down the pipe. Oh, there's going to be a food shortage. Oh, look out.
We are seeing less food in grocery stores here.
The only thing I've had a problem getting at this.
When is it okay to fucking be upset? When is it okay to go, you know what? I'm tired of being fucked over, and I'm tired of being screwed over, and I'm tired of the game being rigged and being told I have to play by rules that no one else has to. When is it okay to be upset? Because it's like, she just told you that they're having problems affording what they used to afford, and you're like, well, can you afford food? That's like the whole, well, it could always be worse. Well, it could always be better, but you never hear that from people, do you? No, you don't. Why? Why, dude?
Well, that's their outlook on life. They're choosing to look at the glass half empty.
Well, I'm just...
And I asked her, "Are you having?" And I asked her
out of one side for solutions, and
for the point, I asked her if she's having these problems now, and she didn't answer the question. Like, is this fear porn? Are you fretting about things that might happen?
Okay, Jess, hold on. We might be treading in territory. I don't know how much she wants out there, dude. Her husband's a fucking butcher. He knows firsthand about this shit. I don't know if she wants to put all that out there. So you might want to write the time down and take this out. So, I mean, do you really want her to go into it? And Jess, are you going to be comfortable going into it?
I mean, I'll talk about my own personal finances, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, eventually, like,
I've known people who bought a cow. It ain't cheap.
I don't know. Motherfucker, I can't even afford the fucking dollar menu in McDonald's. I don't know what the fuck a cow costs. I'm just saying. People that fucking buy a lot of meat bought the fucking cow and fucking had it butchered. And they said it was cheaper than buying it at the fucking grocery store.
You're going in on a cow. It's a 3-digit purchase.
It is. But you get a lot of...
But also, these are people that shop at Costco. These are people who
Okay,
fucking.
I don't know why you said Costco with disdain in your voice. I'll fight you over that.
No, that's not disdain. That's just like they go in and they're like, "I want the 150,000 ounces of mayo, please." And I'm like, "Won't that go bad?" And they're like, "I got 4 kids." I'm like, "Okay." So I mean, it's like these are the type of people that were buying the shit. Anyways, I want, like, I don't know, around the 130 mark. I just wanted to fucking throw that out there because, like I said, I know you had said that, I had fucked up and dropped his name once. So I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to start down a conversation that we won't be able to finish because from a listening point of view, it's going to sound like we just drop it if you're like, I can't talk about this anymore because I'm not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I that's why I brought that up.
I try to be pretty careful with what I disclose about, because I truly don't know what he tells me that I'm supposed to know and what I'm not.
And that's the other thing.
So I try to be.
He's management now, so he's got to watch this P's and Q's. Yeah,
understood.
So that's why it ain't her. No one's going to come for her that I know of.
Right now.
Any more than they're going to come for us, But anyways, my point is that if I'm offering, or anybody's offering, some sort of fucking alternatives, not solutions necessarily, we don't know if they'll work or not. What is the point of shitting on them right out the fucking bat and going, well, we're just going to stick with what we know is already going to fuck us over? I mean, is it fear of change?
It's more devil you know.
Okay. And I'm with that. But isn't that why we have fucking like checks and balances, ways to correct shit? We don't do things. Okay, now change everything at the drop of a hat because I snap my fingers. Things move at a different pace, right? I mean, every economist I've ever read and heard talk, when you get right down to it and you hold their fucking feet to the fire and you go, motherfucker, give me a fucking answer, they're like, we take as educated a guesses as we can about what the economy is going to do. We don't really know. And I'm like, well, then what the fuck are we listening? Why are you an expert?
Because there's many, many examples of where they've been right, and that's how you build things like theories.
They're right because all they're doing is interpreting fucking data. A statistician can do that. These are not fucking breakthrough fucking minds we're dealing with. These are people who are reading fucking stats and telling us what they fucking say.
And you study patterns and you make your predictions from there. I mean, many fields do that. Most of science does that.
Yeah, and once again, it's not science. It's when we do it in baseball, it's not science. When we do it in the economy, we're supposed to take it like it's the word of God. We're supposed to listen to these people like it's the word of God. Come the fuck on, dude. You're taking a guess. It's an educated guess. I'm not arguing that. I'm not fucking taking away from that. But ultimately, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh my God, these economists, they understand something that we don't.
I default to people who know more about shit than me. I'm not an economist. It's like when I go to the doctor, guess what? I take his fucking word for it because I'm not a fucking doctor.
I mean,
but what about economists that are saying that we're headed towards like a financial crisis? And what about economists who are saying that we're headed towards food shortages and problems? I've heard famine, and not just. I don't watch the news, so you can't accuse me of that.
Because to shit on my own point and make riches, I can find you a half a dozen who'll say the complete opposite right now.
Well,
Janet Yellen was saying a fucking year. The person in charge of the Treasury was saying this shit that we're in right now wasn't going to happen, and came out a couple weeks ago. Oh, I guess I was wrong.
Why are we listening to politics? Just let them fucking play their roles on the fucking political theater stage and entertain the idiots. Stop listening to these fucking politicians like they know what they're just saying whatever the fuck they think.
And then Biden's talking about suspending the gas tax. You got a handful of economists saying it's going to be great and it's going to do this and do that, and you got another handful saying no, it's actually going to have the opposite problem. What he's going to think is people are going to start hoarding shit because it's cheaper, and it's going to it's.
So here's something I've noticed. Okay, the last couple times I have dipped my toe into a grocery store in the last month or so, prices, everything, gone up, blah blah blah. The one the one like aisle or two that I didn't see prices like ridiculously go through the roof, the fucking junk food aisle, dude. Like, and I'm not bullshitting. I'm talking like snack cake, that type of fucking shit. Dude I lived with who go grocery shop, half his fucking grocery budget was those goddamn snack cakes and junk food, and almost like 3/4 of his grocery budget at the end was that, because according to him, it's the only thing they haven't really raised the price on.
Cheap stuff's cheap to make.
And I'm like, and it's also the shit that's going to probably do the most damage to you if you eat it on a consistent basis.
But that's not a problem that's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not exclusive to right now. We've been having that problem. You ever noticed? I'll tell you, I noticed this would work. I'm in all the bougie fucking neighborhoods, right? When it's lunchtime, I got to fucking search to find a fast food joint, right? But you get down to where the middle, the lower middle class and working class folks live, there's a fucking McDonald's every 50 fucking feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like I said, that problem ain't exclusive to right now. I mean, it's always cost more to eat better.
I just think it's really funny that grain, meat, all these things all the prices are going up, all this, supply chain this, supply chain that. Everybody's got a fucking reason. Everybody's got a ready-made excuse. Everybody's got a hot fucking reason why everything costs an arm and a leg, and you should just shut up and fucking take it. But when it comes to that, they're like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
Whole Foods was
maybe it's because I don't know, government subsidizes fucking cane, or not cane sugar, but high fructose corn syrup.
Oh yeah,
just like I mean,
the thing it
connect that dot, and I'm an asshole for doing it, I guess. But I'm just like, gee, well, so why don't we subsidize some grain production in this country?
Because Obama incentivized farmers to start growing corn back 15 years ago, and farmers weren't making dick, and they went, hey, government will give me a bunch of money if I grow corn. So okay,
why can't they do that with fucking grain? If the grain shortage is part of the meat problem shortage, which is part of the et cetera shortage, because all I keep hearing about is the grain problem is because of what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, which supposedly all this is Russia and the Ukraine's fault, depending on who you ask, which we all know is bullshit, but whatever. But so why can't we say, okay, hey, look, dude, we got enough high fructose corn syrup. No one's buying this fucking E85 shit.
What's that? You just said it, because you can't make fuel out of grain. You can make many things out of corn.
So we need it.
You can only make one thing out of grain.
And we're having a national emergency where politicians are talking about shortages and this affecting this and affecting this, and the prices are going to go up and Americans are going to suffer, and we're looking to give you relief. So subsidize grain. Have them stop growing fucking corn. Have them start growing grain for the next couple of years. And in 6-7 months or however long it takes to get the first fucking harvest in, we'll have a little bit of relief, more than we have now.
Well, because they have to have the January 6th hearings instead.
Do you see what I'm saying? Every time a solution's offered, whether you want to or not, you do what everyone does. You just go, can't, no, it's not, no. We got to focus on this. We got to do this. We got to do this. If that's everything, if there's no solutions to any of these problems,
why am I shitting on?
Why are we fucking bothering?
How am I shitting on something by saying what's happening?
Well, dude, come on, bro. You are a contrarian to the fucking core. If I say the sky is blue, you're going to start whipping out stats going, well, that's because the reflection from the earth onto the... And I'm like, oh, my God, dude, you know what I'm saying. Grass is green. Well, not dead grass. Dead grass is off-color.
No, I'm saying my comment is on their priorities. We got baby food.
Dude,
we got
okay, you start asking for solutions. By the way, you start demanding solutions that you can't fucking give me. Well, and then I start pulling them out of my ass.
Because I'm not asking for them.
I start pulling them out of my ass because you pulled out of your ass. Here's the solutions that I demand answers for, and you go, no, that's stupid. It ain't gonna work. Okay, well then what the fuck? If everything is dumb and everything's set in stone, and this is the way the world has to work, and certain people have to be crushed up under the fucking the fucking boot heels of other people, and that's just all there is to it, then what's to stop us from just fucking going feral and just fucking getting whatever we can any way possible?
You tell me. I'm not asking these questions.
Maybe you should. Maybe we as a society should. Maybe that's part of the fucking problem, because it's too much like thinking, I guess.
I've just accepted there's questions we're never going to have answered. There's just problems we're never going to have worked out. I'm not going to waste energy on shit I can't control. Life's too short.
So if groceries are too much and someone's like, okay, we'll do this, we'll plant this, we'll go in with our neighbors and we'll get a head of cattle and have it butchered and shit like that. So all that is just like, I don't like... Whether or not you mean to come off this way to me, I'm getting the feeling that you look at that, like you look down at that with disdain, like those people are like stupid. And I'm like, no, those people are actually smarter than us because they're actually probably trying to solve a problem before it becomes a major problem for them.
I don't like I'm disdain at all. I'm like Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Will it be cheaper? Will it be easier?
Well, it's like Rich had said earlier in regard to something about, or maybe it was you. I'm sorry. I was arguing. I can't get my thoughts correct right now. But one of y'all had said, to everyone who didn't speak up before, then just deal with it. We're speaking up now. We've seen okay, shit, we didn't speak up before and this is where we are. So now we're like, hey, let's get ahead of this. How do we get ahead of this?
That's my point. If we wait until the shit hits the fan and we do something, we're being reactionary. We're stupid. We should have been proactive instead of reactive. You're locking the door after the fucking horses have already fucking left. If we try to fucking be proactive, well, that's stupid. That's never going to work. I'm not even going to bother with that. What if it's worse than what we got? Okay, so do nothing. That's our answer? Well, where has that gotten us? I mean, essentially, that over half this country, every fucking presidential election does nothing. This is where it's gotten us. At what point do we go, we have to do something different? We have to try something different. Even if it's small on a local level, don't vote for fucking the same people that have been sitting in office and doing nothing to improve your life for all your life. Put someone new in there. If you don't like them, campaign to get them the fuck out. Try something. That's what I'm not preaching. Burn the motherfucking shit to the ground for the fucking sake of it. I'm saying pivot because the way we're going, it ain't we can't sustain this shit, dude. As a society, we can't sustain this shit.
It's been working for 200 plus years.
No, it hasn't, dude. The success in this country that we have taken for granted, our generation, the baby boomers, everybody post-World War II, is unprecedented in human history, man. Seriously. Look at the growth in technology, the growth in what we've discovered and understood, the growth in just different schools of thought, even in economics and shit like that.
Well, in a conversation that I've found myself, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
A conversation I have found myself having recently has been about how things like generational knowledge on preserving food and canning and growing food and hunting food is, I want to say slowly, but it's not even really that slowly dying out. You have a generation, I think it's the Zoomers, that a third of them don't know how to use can openers. Things that there's no survival skills. Whereas if you're talking about, Chris, you said that this has been working for 200 plus years, but if people didn't have self-preservation skills and if they didn't know how to sustain themselves, if they didn't know how to feed themselves without, help from the grocery store, or at least to kind of offset the small amount that they were getting from standing in bread lines, then would we have sustained ourselves for 200 years? Or would we have completely fallen in on ourselves?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Between the unrest and how much the entire world was destabilized in the first half of the 20th century, between World War I and World War II, it set the stage for completely unprecedented rise to the top spot for a country like the United States. We weren't even 150 fucking years old, and we were the world power. That's unfucking heard of, dude. But that didn't happen the first 150 fucking years. That happened post-World War II. We can't count on that being the norm. That's the outlier. That's not the baseline. And we got to readjust to that. And we have a society right now who doesn't want to hear that. And we have people at the top who don't want to give up their fucking toys and their fucking bullshit because, well,
why should they?
That makes life fun for them.
Why should they?
Why should they? So they can do whatever they want irresponsibly?
No, why should they give up their shit?
Sure, I guess, yeah. Don't give it up. And then when no one can afford to buy your shit and you can't afford to make the payments on your shit, it's the bank shit then.
Yeah, just like everybody else.
Okay. So, I mean, so basically we're at a race to the bottom then.
If that's how you want to view it, sure.
Well, I mean, what your outlook. Give me hope. Show me. Like, I don't understand. What motivates to get you up during the day if you are only working just to go, I hope I can retire before I die? I mean, like I'm asking here, like I'm asking a serious question, like what, like you go, well, any solutions given, that's not going to work. I don't worry about things I can't control. I'm not going to worry about this. This is out of my control. This is out of my control. Whatever. So what is the point of anything then, dude? I'm asking you honestly, like
I woke up again. That's
forward progress for the sake of forward progress.
Maybe I'm getting all existential. I woke up again.
Okay.
I got another shot. I got another 24.
Cool. If that's all you need to be happy, then God bless you.
Some people
you are a unicorn.
Some
sir.
people aren't waking up tomorrow.
You are a unicorn then, I guess, because sure. Okay. All right, then. Well, anything else, or we want to wrap this up?
That was all I had. Was the economy. Sorry.
Well, I know something was said about the. No, it was Earl. Never mind. My bad. He ain't here, so we ain't got to worry about it. But all right then. Well, I guess that's it then.
All right. Well, follow us on social media on Twitter at Gen Exhausted. Like us on Facebook. Wherever you listen to us, rate us 5 stars, please and thank you. You can also hit the Amazon button or the PayPal button if you'd like to help us out. Downloads are up. Welcome new listeners. Hi, old listeners. And, Dawn gave me a heart attack the other day because her donation stopped. But no, she just changed it. You know, economy's hitting all of us. She is still managing to still give us a monthly donation.
That's For our uninitiated listeners, Dawn is our super fan going back what?
She's been with us since week 1. It feels like.
I want it, dude. She was with us before we took the first time we took a break from Unregimented. That's going back to 2014, 2015.
But the email came through and it said her donation stopped. I was like, part of me was like, but I was like, well, she's been donating for 8 years. Like, what am I going to be mad at?
I know, right?
And then I saw it started up again. It was just a lower amount. I was like, all right, I get it. The economy. Everyone's got a little less money in their pocket right now. But yeah, you want to help us out, you can do it that way. Or just the free way, just, drop a review, rate us, please and thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, later, guys.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.